Today I want to go over two things. One would be the density sets, and the next thing would be handstand push-up technique or muscle groups. Density sets are amazing. Density sets or escalating density training, a training method that was developed by Charles Stanley, a great power, strength coach, weightlifting coach, if I'm not mistaken by the name. Escalating density training, in simple words, is like AMRAP for CrossFit. You have a time frame, 20 minutes. You do as many quality reps as you can within this time frame, and the result is the total number of reps. Okay? What's great about the density training is a few things. One, it's competitive. You get to compete with yourself. If straight sets are boring, here you have a time frame. It can be 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever you decide, with whatever rep range or whatever you decide the intensity would be. Today I did handstand push-up here. One, that would be one. I did 20 minutes and I did one set every 2 minutes. 5 reps each set equates to 50 reps total. Not only you get to decide the time frame and the structure and everything, it creates a challenge. You compete with yourself. Every consecutive workout, you try to squeeze in an extra 1 or 2 reps to the tally, so you get that progressive overload, right? Same thing is if you were to do straight sets, and instead of doing 4 sets of 8, we do 3 sets of 8 and 1 set of 9, you got that extra rep. You do the exact same thing here, so it brings this challenge, competitiveness. It's a little bit of a rush, right? You're against the clock. Not only are this time frame and training method allows progressive overload to be made for long term, also as you are adding reps, you are actually decreasing the rest interval, because you are going from 50 reps to 60 reps, let's say over the course of a few weeks, and you're doing it on the same time frame, 20 minutes, meaning there are less or shorter rest intervals. So you are getting stronger, but you are not just increasing workout duration and rest interval duration indefinitely, which can definitely be the case. I got to the point where every handstand push-up set was so exhausting that I was resting about 7-8 minutes. Now, you can say, hey, that's strength training, that's the deal. Correct. But there's a sweet spot where workouts get too long, or you don't get to do as many exercises because one single exercise took you so much time, right? So that's a great benefit. This is where the name comes from. Escalating density. It's a density training approach. And density means that you're doing more work, denser work, shorter time frame or shorter rest intervals. You're condensing a lot of work into a short period of time. And now I want to talk about the density training, one other aspect that relates to strength training that is important to remember. And I will do one face pull sets, which is my actual working sets right now, and I'll then get to the point. The previous workout, I had straight sets for the handstand push-up. Today I walked into the park knowing I had to change because logistics prohibited me from doing my classic back to wall 4-inch handstand push-up. Okay? In density training, this time frame is great for strength training in particular, because once you are not fixated on doing a certain prescribed number of reps per set, and then progressively overloading, adding reps. You can break, if you decide to, the 20-minute time frame to as many sets as you think that will get you towards that tally. 50 reps in 20 minutes in this instance. And now we are not fixated on, doing sets of 10, 5 sets of 10, maybe you're doing 10 sets of 5, right? You are flipping the script. It's the opposite set and rep scheme. 10 sets of 5, the average quality and force output per rep will be higher because you are performing less reps under extreme fatigue, which happens if you are pushing the envelope for as many reps as possible for each singular set and need a lot of rest interval as a byproduct of that. So now, your force strength in particular, force output is higher, quality is higher, technique is higher, and I actually got more reps done in less time than doing straight sets, doing the density training as opposed to the straight sets. So you get actually more work done with higher average force output. For strength, that is amazing. Now, don't get confused. You might finish the workout and you won't feel as burnt out, maybe as exhausted, because you didn't work at that upper threshold throughout most, if not all, of your sets for the handstand push-up, right? You are mostly working fresh. Sure, fatigue will settle in towards the end of the density time frame, but on average, the quality was high, the fatigue was lower per rep. Don't get confused. You'll actually feel fresh and ready to go more in comparison to the same number of total reps if you were doing straight sets. It doesn't mean that you didn't have a great workout. The objective is more total reps in less time, average force output and technique is higher, meaning more strength gains. Now about handstand push-up technique. You will see my handstand push-up. I'm a relatively strong guy. So I have, strong shoulders, but weaknesses usually in gymnastics will be at end ranges of motion. Either most shortened, contracted position for the muscle group, or the most stretched position for the muscle group. For handstand push-up, you encounter this thing where you are strong maybe off the bottom, but it's hard to lock out. Okay? Shoulder flexion at the bottom half up until whatever that is, 150 degrees, is mostly utilizing your anterior deltoid. And that is a strong muscle group for his size, right? So all of this part of the handstand push-up might be easier for you. Locking out might be hard for you. It's because anterior deltoid is less dominant in the last few shoulder flexion range of motion degrees. From this part, the upper back is involved more relatively to the lower part, okay? A great structure for your workout is to take your main movement, your handstand push-up, do straight sets, do density sets, a lot of effort anyway, trying to progressively overload, and then have 2 or 3 exercises, like the ring face pull or another small exercise for your weaknesses. If your end range of motion lockout is your problem, like it is for me, you can add this exercise. It's hard. It's a brutal, small weakness muscle group, but it works great for the end range of motion of the handstand push-up. It works the upper back more, even though it's shoulder flexion what mainly happens here. So it's Y raises instead of face pulls, right? Instead of this, you will be doing this. And as you can see, the range of motion is from here. So 90, 100 degrees shoulder flexion to 180. So it's that upper part that is being challenged the most. Okay, and relatively to a shoulder flexion exercise, you'll feel your upper back a lot. That's the workout for today. Density training, hands and push-up workout structure, and a little bit of weaknesses. If you want one-on-one online coaching for bodyweight strength, size, and skills, book a free call with me. Let's figure out whether we are a good fit together. Link is in the description. Either way, if you enjoyed, like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.